Good morning. Am I on? Good morning, am I on? I think I am. The little circle stopped going around. I'm early this morning because I think a lot of people have gone back to work today here in the Lehigh Valley, and I think in other parts of the area people have already gone back to work. So I think there's probably fewer people watching me this morning, so it probably doesn't matter what time I go on. So everybody's going back to work, which I did. I got up early this morning and worked out here. The gyms still aren't open here, and I had to sort of put stuff together to do it, but it went well. I got all sweaty and sore, so I'm happy about that. And I'm going back to work this morning, which is why I'm early. I've got things to do later this morning, business-wise, real business-wise, not this monkey business. And speaking of this monkey business, we're also very busy editing the book on all my posts. I hope you saw my post today. Picture of me getting a haircut, and you can see it's cut now, relatively back to normal. It's not sticking out the back anymore, and it's not driving me crazy. Can't believe I had long hair for all those years. And at one point I had hair down my back, and then through the 80s, probably until late 80s, my hair was always over my ears, at least as long as it just was before I got a haircut, but neater, trimmed. So anyway, it's nice to be back to semi-normal, the new semi-normal. And I want to talk to you this morning about control, which is, I think, what we've been doing for the last 3 months with the virus and now with the demonstrations and things. So we'll get to that in a minute. But before we do, I received this really great email yesterday from Hafez Makhalouf. And it says, "Dear Richard Plinky, I'm deeply grateful for taking time to read my message. I hope you are saved regarding COVID-19. Now, I'm guessing that would be a prerequisite, me being saved, in order for him to be grateful for me to read the email. Please kindly advise. I want to know if a foreign investor can build or acquire a permanent resident home and start up a business. We'll be waiting to hear from you soon. Regards." So obviously things are looking up. This looks like a pretty good opportunity for me to get involved on the ground floor of something. I love those kind of emails, and I get them all the time. I must have dupe stamped on my profile somewhere, because I do get inundated with these. Some Norwegian prince that's going to give me $1 million if I can just fund him 5,000. Anyway, that stuff. So as I said earlier, I want to talk about control, because I think that I got a hair sticking up back there. You see it over here? It's always the opposite when looking at the film. See it back here? Anyway, I think this generation, and when I say this generation, everybody alive, especially younger people, I'd say people under 50, under 60, have this impression that life is fair and life is safe. And it is neither. It is not fair, almost never, and it's really unsafe, very unsafe, because eventually it kills all of us. Some of us sooner than others, than later, and by all different, incredible ways. You can be smart and live your life in a way that will help you be safer, the way you drive, the way you take care of your body, the way you deal with life attitudinally, stress. Again, I go back to exercise all the time for stress and attitude and perspective. You have some control over that, but you have no control over some drunk driver slamming into you in an intersection, running a red light at 55 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour. It's just hard to control that. And it's hard to control getting the flu or catching pneumonia. You have some say over heart disease and some over cancer. I had tongue cancer that spread to my neck and to lymph nodes. I had control over that. One of the main causes for it, my doctor told me, was I smoked. I smoked 40 years ago. I quit in 1980, March 10th, 1980. 40 years ago I quit. And when I had the surgery, it was 35 years ago. And I said to him, that can't be. I quit smoking 35 years ago so I wouldn't get cancer. And he said, no. He said, that's where it comes from. So I didn't do a good job of controlling that, and I paid for it. So we have some control, but generally we have no control. And so this whole reaction to the COVID-19, to me, has been an overreaction because we want control that we can't have. I think we could have done a lot of things smarter. I'm not saying everything we did was wrong. I don't believe that. But I believe we did so much more than we needed to. And I think we hurt a lot more people with the methods we went about than we probably saved. If you read about Iceland, or read about Sweden, or read about just parts of this country, the Dakotas and places like that where they didn't do any lockdowns. Now, most of the places we're talking about aren't as densely populated as in New York City, but they just treated it differently than we did. None of these places had lockdowns. None of these places took away people's livelihoods. They took measures that made sense, like when somebody caught it, they did the tracing on it and they quarantined people who got it, and that seemed to stop the spread of it. They like in Iceland, they called everybody who was over 70 a couple times a week. I'm kind of glad we didn't do that here because I wouldn't want to get a call every day asking me how I am, but they did, and they tracked people. Now, they have 350,000 people in Iceland. We have more than that in the Lehigh Valley. So it's easier with a small group, but they did it. And they used a model that worked, and Sweden used a model that worked, and South Dakota used a model that worked. And we used a model that we still got a lot of death, and we still put a lot of people in the hospital, and we caused a lot of people a lot of, I think, unnecessary pain through the economic sanctions we put, well, not sanctions, but limitations we put on people. And I think it's all over control, the sense that we can gain control, which we can't. Life is risky. You got to go out and live it. If you want to live safe, life's not going to be much fun. You can take measures to try and be safe, but you can't be safe. And the same thing with what's going on with some of the rioting and this incredible misbehavior, which is a nice way of putting that's going on. Everybody thinks everybody else has control, and they want to get it from them. Poor people think rich people have control, and they want that control. It's the money they want, but the money represents that control. And a lot of other things, examples I won't get into, but I got to tell you something. I've known several billionaires in my life through my contacts in business and other things. I don't think I ever met one that was really happy. They all seem to have an itch they can't scratch. They always need to be doing more. They just never seem satisfied. Some people look at that as an attribute. I don't. So I want to read you something I wrote in my new book about control. From Dancing in the Cave of the Dragon, Adventures in the Wonderland of Sales. And once again, the disclaimer is that I write about sales. Not always, but I try and work it back to sales since that's what I do. As I scratch my face for effect. But I think, as I've said many times before, sales to me is a great metaphor for life. And what this piece is really about is about getting along with people, which is what the problems we're having right now today is we don't get along anymore. And again, I think it's over the ultimate fight for control. And the piece is called Relax. Nothing is under control. Control is an illusion. Or as Dr. Claire Lewicki, played by Nicole Kidman in Days of Thunder, put it, when talking to race car driver Cole Trickle, played by Tom Cruise. Control is an illusion, you infantile egomaniac. I'm sorry to laugh at my own stuff. And I should tell you now, while I'm laughing at my own stuff, everybody keeps asking me about my finger. That's a blood blister. I wrote about, we had two sons that moved out during the coronavirus. In spite of Governor Wolf's stay-at-home orders, they both moved out with their girlfriends and got places. And we redid their rooms. And I did a piece on me painting and stuff. And we had to buy a new bed frame, and we were putting it together. And this is probably about a month ago. My wife jammed the piece toward me and got my finger caught in it. She denies doing that, but she did this, and it's just a blood blister. So if that answers a lot of questions out there, I'm here at your service. Control is an illusion, you infantile egomaniac. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. Not on a freeway, not in an airplane, not inside our own bodies, and certainly not on a racetrack with 40 other infantile egomaniacs. Okay, so we're not all race car drivers fighting for the ultimate control over life and death, but most of us spend a great deal of our lives chasing that same illusion of having control where none is available. Take my wife, please. An old joke. Out in public, people believe I'm the king of the castle. They think I rule the roost, that I wear the pants in the family. It's an illusion. Back at the ranch, I'm controlless. Oh, she lets me believe I have control, such as with the TV remote, but do we ever watch women's beach volleyball, or Family Guy, or Amy Schumer? No. Do we ever order anchovy pizza with jalapeno peppers? No. Do we ever go to tractor pulls or naked mud wrestling? No. Do we ever sit around in our underwear all day Sunday drinking beer and watching football? Well, yes, but that's a religious experience. And I'm still allowed freedom of religion under the Constitution as long as it's okay with her. Think I'm kidding? A while back, I bought a new Jeep Cherokee without consulting her nibs. I love that maroon with black accents 4x4 tooling around the mountains looking for mud and deep snow. She hated it. Not so much the vehicle as the color. She hated the maroon with black accents. How do I know? Because she told me every day for the duration of my rather short but painful relationship with the macho muscle descendant of the Willie Overland Motor Company. I wanted that utility vehicle in the worst way. She didn't. Guess who won? Yes, a constant battle for the ultimate state of control. A battle you can never win. So why do so many sales training programs emphasize the need for gaining control over prospects during a sales meeting? Why do they spend so much time hammering salespeople with the idea that controlling the interviewing process is the key to the kingdom? Why do they sell on TV cooking pans that never stick? Until you actually use them, that is. Because some people will believe anything as long as it comes packaged in bright color paper with pretty ribbons and bows. And big sales training companies specialize in attractive and appealing wrappings that disguise their true intent to get you to give them your money. They do that by promising to teach you how to do what they do so you can do to other people what they do to you. It's a nifty game of illusion. Watch the hypnotic bouncing ball as I deftly pick your pocket while promising to teach you how to pick pockets. Like the old scam of placing an ad saying, "Send me $2 and I'll mail you the secret of how to get people to send you $2. I always wanted to try that. Someday I just might. Forget control. It doesn't exist. As Zoe B. put it in simplelifestrategies.com, there is actually no such thing as control. We are never in control, ever. The happiest and most successful people dance to the rhythm of life, and they look at each challenge or each thing that is out of their control as an opportunity to shine. They adapt and they mold onto the circumstances that are thrown at them. They sure as hell don't try and control them. How ludicrous to try and control something that cannot be controlled. What an utter waste of time, and the irony is that the more they let go and go with the flow, the more control they actually have over their lives. In other words, you can only gain control when you stop trying to gain control. What a concept. Like when I was a young boy really, riding horses, as I came to learn, horses can be extremely stubborn animals. That's because horses are extremely stupid. They're dumb animals. Beautiful animals, wonderful animals, but dumb. And once in a while, you can have great difficulty getting them to go where you want them to go. There's an expression in horseback riding that goes, give the horse its head, which means when a horse is fighting you for control, let go of the reins and let him move in the direction he wants to take. After a few steps, he begins to think he has control, and at that point becomes more pliable. Then you can take back the reins and be on your way. Happy trails to you. That's an expression that keeps popping up in my writing. Also, if you're ever lost and are desperately trying to regain control of your trip, give the horse his head and he will invariably take you home. No fuss, no muss. So the moral of the story is that true control comes only when you stop fighting for control. Sailors don't fight the wind. They don't try to bend the wind to their will. Instead, they adjust the sails and use what the wind gives them to achieve their objective. Control is an illusion. Forget it. Trust and respect are what you should be aiming for, because those are the true keys to the kingdom. If you want to win friends and influence people, give them their head and they'll bring you back to the barn every time. To me, all this stuff that's going on right now, everything, and not just with the riots over George Floyd and not with the coronavirus, but what's been going on for a while, is that we've lost respect. We've lost dignity. And all that respect we've lost is not for other people. It's for ourselves. The louder people shout, you can be sure the more they dislike themselves. So that's my lesson for the day. So we're done with the COVID-19, my new book, COVID-19, House Arrest, which will be out hopefully by August 1st. Will be out by August 1st, hopefully sooner. We're working on that, editing right now diligently, putting all the pictures together. We'll have the pictures because I know you like the pictures better than my writing. I put a piece in today about we're going to make that available to all you, my closest friends, for a reduced price on the website. I'll send you more information on that. I will continue to write blogs periodically. I don't know if there'll be any rhythm to them, but I will write them and I will post them, as I explained on Friday. And I will occasionally do a video. I don't know how often, but I will do them because I'm enjoying doing them. They turned out to be somewhat fun. I will also start doing, finally, we're going to start doing, I can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me in a minute. Maybe I'll have to come back on tomorrow to tell you what the hell I'm talking about. But in the meantime, I will still be accessible and probably be around more than you'll care to see me. And I hope you stay well. And thanks for supporting me all this time. I appreciate it. Bye.